Well, you can see the condition that this erodium is in now. It's gotten late in the year. The nights are getting cold. And I've got to get this cleaned up. The baby tears have all died, but the erodium is still struggling, still blooming. Okay, school bus, you can go on. Butterfly, you can stay. But it's looking real good, but struggling. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait a little bit till the sun goes down. I don't know how well this is going to show in this bright sunlight that's coming down. But I've got to get that out of there and get it in, so that I can put it inside a terrarium for the winter. So that's what we're going to do. Now this is what I've chosen to plant the erodium inside. It's one of those Wardian cases. I have 2 of these. Got them at a garage sale, Master Gardener's garage sale and plant sale. But this one does have the hinged top, as you can see, and it is enclosed all the way around. Its little polystyrene panels and everything are still in good shape. So I'm planning to plant it inside. I've left the patina that's on here, didn't repaint it or anything. And I have prepared some soil. I've got some, rich potting soil with some perlite and a little bit of coarse sand. And then, of course, I've put charcoal in it. I have some horticultural charcoal that I've put down in the soil, too, to keep it sweet. I do not have a layer of gravel. I don't put gravel in my planting pots or anything. But this is where the erodium is going to spend the winter. And let's hope I have a lot left over for spring to set out in the spring. This morning I'm going to dig up some of my erodium to take in. I may get all of it, it just depends on how much looks like it's going to be livable. So here I go. This looks like the main plant. That's the main single plant, as you can see. And you know from that earlier video how much it has spread. And this is what's left of my baby tears. Oh, here's a little sprig that has rooted. It's even got a bud on it. Can you see that bud? Okay, and now I'm going to get the other one. He's got a lot of life left in him. I think so. Okay. Put this with, and then I'll just smooth out the pot. We know that the baby tears won't live. They've already died mostly in the cold. But I'll just tuck them in there. This looks a little worse for the wear. We'll hope that he survives. I'm going to take these down and I'm going to treat them, and then we'll bring them inside. Okay, now here are the pieces that I've harvested from outside. And what I'm going to do is kind of trim them down to cut out the dead portions. And I'm not going to be too picky. I mean, we've got a lot of dead around the edges, but still a lot of nice root material. And I will just save that and get rid of the rest. There may be some small terrariums that I could pot up, but overall, I think this will do nicely. I basically almost have the whole thing that I started out with in the spring. Now I'm just going to go ahead and trim off some of that root ball so it will fit. And I don't see any varmints, any infestation of any kind. Now that doesn't mean I'm not missing some, but it looks pretty good. Got a little rinse in insecticidal soap, and I let it sit for a day, and then I'm going to treat with some neem oil. And I've got the mix here because we don't want to bring in any varmints. Mostly I want to make sure the underside of the leaf is treated. That looks pretty good. I think I may have popped in just a little bit of the baby tears, but that's going to be fine. I don't mind some extra baby tears. And let's hope we can get some new sprouting along some of these edges. Now, I don't see anything in there, so I'm going to consider him ready. And now here's the other bigger portion, and I'm going to do the same to him. Just kind of trim it all the way around to get out the long stragglers. And there may be a few pieces that we can do an additional terrarium, like I said. But I think that looks pretty good. I don't have a lot of room in this little Wardian case that I'm going to put them in. So if they do survive and start to spread a lot, I may have to do some transplanting. I hope I'm getting this on the screen. Well, that looks pretty good. I don't see a lot of dead ports, but neem oil, especially on the underside, and then on the surface. Oops. That looks pretty good. Now, we'll just need to get it planted up. All right, I've got it all ready. And here are my plants. And I'm just going to kind of move the soil around a little bit and pop it down in there. Let me make sure I have room for both. It may be a little bit of a tight squeeze, but until I get it all, I don't know, settled in and surviving, we'll just want to see how this goes. Okay, now I'm going to add just a little bit more soil. A little bit more soil down this side to make sure the roots are covered on each end. And then we're going to see how this works. So I'm going to get a better angle here so you can see down into it. Okay. Now I do have a discoloration right here on the top surface right here. I don't know what that is, maybe something created by heat, but it's not something that as I can find that I could wipe off right now. So it looks like we are ready. Let me pull the camera off and I can show you a little better what it looks like. There we go. Cross. I think it looks pretty good. And yeah, I think I'm gonna like that. Now this will be the view from outside. And I will kind of water them in just a little bit to get them settled. So let me take care of that. Saw just a few tiny buds. But let's hope that I don't have too much die-off from the changeover. But I think it looks pretty good. Okay, I have the other Wardian case on the shelf now. It's pretty well settled in. And since this particular old Wardian case is not watertight, I do have it setting in a little, I don't know if you could see that very well, but one of those confectionery boxes that croissants come in, and it's just the lid. I cut them apart for large items like this. So we are all ready to just put a little water in there. And then I think at first I will probably close the lid because it is, you know, see-through. Light can still get in. But I kind of want to keep them in a moist environment. So let me just put a little bit of water. I'll rinse off the sides too. Keep them clean. Okay, now I'll point toward me. There, that looks good. I think you can see that. That should rinse all the soil off. Okay. That's my little pump spray. So, we are all finished with him. Hope you can see that in focus. But I think that's going to be nice. Let me pull the lid down. Now that will be my little Wardian case for the Erodium. Okay, whoops. I have to work on that little hinge a little. But I think that looks good. And I will keep you updated on how they all behave. And if I can get some nice living plants for next year. Well, I couldn't resist. I had so many pieces left over that I've gotten one of my large terrarium bowls and I've put several of the pieces in there. I'm giving them a little water now. I don't want them to die unnecessarily. Got a rock there to hold the little branch down to see if it'll root. And there's some of the baby tears that just happened to survive. And of course, these over here made an effort too. So I thought I could track the progress of the roots. I've got this one right up against the edge. And I can see as the roots try to grow down. I hope you can see that. There's probably a glare with the lights. But I can watch to see if the roots form down there in the bottom. Right across this little, it's sort of a little fish bowl. But I've stuck a few sprigs down in there. Let me lay this down. It's almost a little flat one. But they're in there. And let's hope they'll do well. So it's a little skinny bubble type thing. But I'm going to keep an eye, whoops, let me turn it the right way. I'm going to keep an eye on this spot so that I can watch to see if the roots try to form and I can track them going down into the soil. So I'll keep watch right there. So we've got them all together here on the shelf. I'll probably have to move this because he's kind of large and sitting on the edge. But they'll be down here. Thanks for joining me today, and check back for some results.